They're good. I think they are going to shock a lot of people. Coach Ballard's done a really good job. I think especially getting people that fit his personality and kind of play to his style. I've gotten to know Coach Ballard over the last couple of years. We both worked for Shaka, so we've kind of been friendly. One, great dude, great coach, but I think in following him, I followed him all his 8 years. This is the best team he's got at FIU this year. And I think they have a chance to be really good. We responded. We needed a game like this because we haven't really dealt with a lot of game pressure and a lot of adversity. And we knew we had an opponent who was going to punch back even when we made runs, and they did. So I was actually excited about the first half and how it went because I wanted to see how our guys were going to respond because we need opportunities like this to grow and get ready for the ACC. And so they came out of halftime with a great response. And I was excited about that to see it because we really haven't had anything like this since BYU, and we need it. We need it. That's what the preseason's for, to test you in different ways. So we needed the press. We needed the game pressure. We needed, I guess the rivalry because of the city. So, it gave them a little bit more, and it was a little bit more of a buzz. So I was happy with our response.
What did you tell them at halftime? And also, can you talk about Shelton? I mean,
Yeah.
30 points. We just talked to Coach Ballard. He said that did not look like a freshman in any way, physically or the way he carried himself. You just talked about those two things. What did you tell the team at halftime and about Shelton, how he played tonight?
What I told the team at half is we need this. Like, this is what we're headed to going into the conference, going into the ACC, where everybody's going to punch back. It's not going to be you throw a knockout in the first 6 minutes and the game's over. Like, they're going to make a run. We got to make a run. The game goes up and down. And so I challenged them again defensively. And I felt we did a better job in the second half. Defensively, what we got to prepare for and get ready for, and what teams have gone to is we've guarded their actions really good, and then they just start to spread the floor, just drive the ball or spread the floor and go ball screen. So we got to clean that up. But our base shell is good, but it's just getting people out of their offense, and now we got to clean up that end of it. And for Shelton, he's one of the best freshmen I've coached in the sense of his physicality and his ability to just play through contact. I think the big thing today in the growth I was so happy for him was his free throw shooting. He spent a lot of time and a lot of hours with his free throw shooting. It's just not recent. It's been all season. And to see it finally click for him and hopefully give him some confidence for it to grow and get there. Now we gotta give him the rebound some more. He did a good job of carrying the scoring load when Trey and True kind of struggled early.
Coach, going 1 for 10 from 3 in the first half. Was there a message at halftime? Because most of them were good looks,
Yeah.
they just weren't falling. So was there a message of, hey, keep shooting that shot and eventually it's going to fall?
That's exactly it. If we're getting the right ones and shooting the right ones, I feel confident that we'll shoot a high percentage. And our numbers have shown that. And they were the right ones. I thought we took 2 that weren't the right ones. And so in the second half, we got some of the same ones and we shot it a little bit better. But for me, the 3 is only a small portion of our offense and what we do. It's our offensive rebounding, it's getting fouled, it's points in the paint, and capitalizing and turning defense into offense. And then our 3s will be bonus. I think we're a team that will make 8 to 10 a game. If we can get there, I feel like we'll be pretty good.
This is the second game that Trey has 12 assists.
Yeah.
Can you just talk about those numbers?
It's just continuing to get him and him growing into becoming a complete point guard. I know he likes to say he's a pass-first point guard, but becoming a complete point guard. And when you transfer, your responsibilities are different from where you come and what it is here. I'm asking him to fully control the team and fully control the game. And that wasn't something he was completely asked to do anywhere he's ever been. So that's been kind of his growth as a point guard. And I think he's like, is this 3 double-figure assists in a row?
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's like 30-something to 4 or 6 or something like that, which if you get that from your point guard position, it's pretty good. Now, I challenged him also defensively. I thought it's where he took a step back, but then he responded the right way.
Tonight was another example of maybe your team not playing to your defensive standard in the first half.
Just how frustrating is it that you continue to reiterate that message? I'm playing your standard, but now it's like the third straight home game where maybe they haven't.
Yeah, human nature's kicking in. You know what I mean? It's that time of the year when we're tired of looking at each other, and we know that the break is right around the corner. But I have to keep them engaged, and I have to let them know what's coming. And that's why I told them after the game. It's not about beating FIU or ULM or Southern Miss. It's about what we're preparing for and what's ahead of us and what we got to get to. And I said I feel like we've lost our edge a little bit. And watching the game, and I got to watch this one, is necessary. It's like the breakdown plays defensively. Because right now everybody's abandoning their offense against us. Because we're guarding the initial actions and guarding the offense good. And now they're just like, all right, we can't score, let's spread the floor and just go one-on-one. And now we got to be guard better defending the ball.
Coach, you talked about how versatile Shelton can be, and he mentioned how versatile he can be. He started to bring the ball up the court, being a point guard today.
Yep.
What have you seen out of him working in that instance? He said he's been leaning on Trey, but what have you seen out of him working on that side of the ball?
Well, I've watched Shelton play since he was in the 7th grade, and all the way until this year, he's been a point guard. That was his primary position in high school, AAU, middle school. He played the point guard position. Now, his point guard position was a little bit different, more of like a bully, and we put him at the point in the summer. We put him at the point in other games. This one was a little bit, I guess, more where you could see it more because of this, but we put him 1 through 4. We played some 4 tonight. And so you're able to plug and play him in so many positions. That's what makes him special. And that's what helps us and can make us special. We have a lot of guys that can play multiple positions.
Coach, also with Shelton, at the beginning of the season, he was really hard with his shots, especially around the rim. Now you're seeing him start to soften up, and a lot of them are starting to drop.
Yeah.
What's been working with him, and just during those practice sessions, just to get him that way?
It's just staying consistent and trusting your work. He's a freshman. There's going to be a learning curve no matter how high you're ranked or how highly regarded you are. There's an adjustment period when you get to college. And so, those initial games is that adjustment period. He was fouling a lot. He was in foul trouble every game. All right, we got him fouling a little bit less. All right, then like you said, he was missing some of the easy ones. And we go to Ole Miss, and it kind of started to click. And then he started getting in foul trouble, and now it's clicked again. So we just got to find consistency within it. And I know it's there because he's made up of the right stuff. He stays in the gym, he competes. He's about winning. So he'll be fine.
What about Malik? I mean, it's just like, ho-hum, another 22 points for Malik. We don't even ask questions about him anymore. What? Can you just talk about him and his consistency?
I know, I got to be a better coach because I'm screaming at him the whole game, and then I look up and he's got 23 and 8, and it happens every game. But, I've watched Malik probably since he was a 10th grader, and his offensive talent has always been there. And my thing that I'm on him about right now is I want more for him because he's got more in him. I think he can be an All-American. I want him to be an All-American, but I can't just let him be comfortable either. So I got to push him to that level. Like, I think he can be All-ACC. I think he's as good as anybody in the country, and I want him to be that good, and I just can't let him get complacent. But he's carried us on the offensive end all year. And we had a team meeting right before the season started, and I told the team, and it's helped us with our team and our just role definition and our clarity. I said, Malik's going to be our leading scorer. Is everybody okay with that? And everybody was fine with it. So it's kind of helped us kind of become us a little bit quicker.
Coach, FIU had a few moments where they punched back, made the game somewhat uncomfortable. What are you seeing in those stretches that you want cleaned up moving forward?
It's just little details. Like we said, they feed off a lot of ball turnovers. And then we come down and Trey and True have back-to-back live ball turnovers that led to 2 layups. And then, just little coverages with Stevenson, you can't go under. You go under the ball screen, he hits a 3. So it's just executing the details. I guess it's the biggest part, and that's the biggest part of coaching, to be honest with you. You're just trying to get your team to execute the details. And to me, that's toughness. And that's the toughness we got to get to. Like, the toughness isn't about, like, bulking up. The toughness is, like, executing the game plan. Stevenson, we chase everything, so you can't go under. You know what I mean? We got to block out. He crashes. Talking about bullying the ball screen so they can't get downhill. You got to do that. So those details and doing it consistently, that's what I'm looking for in all times. Like, I coach to the effort, the energy, the details. I'm not worried. Shot selection will take care of offense, being fine. But if you're not doing the details right, you can't play. You can't get in the game.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.